the Arch Gaming Network is proud to bring you this board game review. Now here's your host, Sean Smith.
Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by. Today we are taking a look at the game World's Fair 1893. It was designed by J. Alex Kavern, and it is published by Foxtrot Games and Renegade Studio Games. Now, it's 1983, Chicago, and it's the World Fair, and you are going to be sending out your supporters to these various areas of interest. The more supporters that you can get, the better chance you're going to have to get your exhibits approved so that you can gain more victory points to win the game. This is a hand management, worker placement, area control type of game that is for 2 to 4 players. Now, does it work? Is the theme fun? How does it play? Well, let's take a look at the setup, a walkthrough, and then I'll give you my thoughts on the other side. Okay, to set up the game, the first thing you're going to do is, depending on the number of players that you have, this is a double-sided board. If you're playing 2 players, you use this side, 3 or 4 players, this side. Same with the top of the Ferris wheel, 2 to 3 this side, 4 players that side. You're then going to take these various areas of interest, and you have fine arts, manufacturing, agriculture, electricity, and transportation. And you put those around the Ferris wheel, at random. It's your choice how to put them on there. You have the Ferris wheel car, and place that on the start. You have the start marker, place it on round 1 to the far left. You're then going to take the deck of cards, shuffle them up, and put 2 on each of the areas of interest. The players are going to grab all of their colored cubes, and then these are their supporters. And you'll place 1 supporter on each area of interest. Off to the side over here, you have your coins, your 1, your 2, and then these are kind of your first place, second place tokens. And then off to the other side here, we have the approved exhibits. So I'm going to kind of clear this up a little bit so we can kind of focus on the main board. And that'll happen in 3, 2. Okay, that is better. The object of the game is that you will be placing supporters on these various areas of interest, trying to gain the most supporters here while collecting 3 different types of cards. At the end of the round, if you have the most supporters in an area, you can then get exhibits approved. All of these things will give you victory points in various ways, and after 3 rounds have been played, whoever has the most victory points wins. So let's talk about the various cards that are in this game. So the first type of cards that you have are these exhibit cards. Now, these are unapproved exhibits, but as you collect them, you're hoping later to get them approved, and we'll talk about how that happens. You can see there are 5 different colors to match 5 different areas of interest around the Ferris wheel. You then have influential figures such as Bertha Palmer, Daniel Burnham, and George Davis. You also have some other influential figures that have the symbols. There's 5 different ones that'll match the 5 areas of interest on the board. Now you'll notice that these influential figures have a special ability denoted by the action in the upper left-hand corner. When you play this card, or this card, or this card, you get to place one of your supporters in that area on the board. Okay, you have some other influential figures that have different special abilities. So George Davis states that when you place one of your supporters in an area of interest, you can place a second one adjacent to the one that you just played. So if you played on yellow, you could play another one on blue or green. Please note, if you place on blue or on red, you cannot cross here as an adjacent spot. Bertha Palmer allows you to move any worker from one area to another, and not just your own. You could move an opponent's supporter from one area to another. And then Daniel Burnham states here that, well, he doesn't state, but his ability is that when you place a supporter in an area, you get to place a second one in that same area. And then the last type of card you can play or gain are these midway cards. And these cards will give you coins at the end of the round. Also, whenever one of these is grabbed, the Ferris wheel car moves one space clockwise. Once the Ferris wheel goes all the way around and gets back to the start, the round ends and you begin the scoring phase. Okay, so at the start of the round, and we're set up for a 3-player game here. We have white, blue, and yellow. You're going to hand out these start bonus cards at the start of the game. You'll choose whoever is going to be player 1, 2, or 3 at random. You could even just shuffle these up and hand them out because they have a cheat sheet on the back as well. And then they will get to do this action. So player 1 gets to place a supporter or bonus supporter in the manufacturing area, and so on and so forth. Now on your turn, you have a couple of things that you're thinking about throughout the whole game. First of all, you're wanting to collect these exhibit cards. These are unapproved exhibit cards, but you can't get approved exhibits unless you have these cards. And the only way that you can get these exhibit cards approved is if you, at the end of a round, have the most influence or most supporters in an area. So if I needed to get a blue exhibit approved, then I'm going to need to have the most supporters in blue. So you're trying to think, where are you going to place your supporters? Who else is going for them? The next thing you're thinking about, of course, is the cards that you're going to get whenever you go to that spot. So let's say the white player is going first. I already have 2 in manufacturing because of the start bonus, so I'm already leading there. Okay, so I think I'll play a supporter in electricity. I now have the majority in there for now. The next thing I can do is play my influential cards, my influential figures. Now, you have to play them from a previous round, so I don't have any, but these again are the figures we're talking about. And if you have any, you must play them. Since it's the beginning of the game, I don't have any, then there's nothing to play. The last thing I'll do is collect the cards. Now, since this is a midway ticket, I have to advance the car 1, and then I'll just save that for the end of the round and get coins for that. I can't play him until next round, and I must play him next round. So my turn, in effect, is done. Now the last thing I'll do is play 3 cards, 1 on the spot that I just picked up cards from, and then working clockwise, adding a card until I have done 3 cards. Now there's something to note about the card placement aspect. Each of these areas of interest have a maximum number of cards that you can play on them. So for example, fine arts, you can only have 3 cards on it max. So whenever you're dealing out cards, if that spot is already at its maximum, you'll just skip over it and go to the next area and keep adding in cards until you have added 3. By adding these cards, of course, it makes the other areas more enticing to take that maybe you wouldn't normally want to go after, but you really want the cards. Now the blue player would go. The play will continue until, like I said, this card makes it all the way back here. Once that happens, you're going to move the round marker to the scoring phase. Okay, so let's say the round is over and these are the cards I've been collecting during the round. We've now moved to the scoring phase. Now, there is a cheat sheet card that shows you exactly how the scoring phase will operate. Additionally, you're going to want to find the scoring phase card for the number of players that you're playing. So we have 3, so you're going to need this card as a reference. We'll show you why in just a second. So the first thing you're going to do is whoever has the most midway tickets will get a bonus 2 coins. So let's say, I had 2, and so I had the most, so I get 2 coins, plus I get 2 for the 2 midway tickets. Okay, so let's talk about how we score each area. So starting with the first area in the lower left hand of the Ferris wheel, you're going to see how many supporters there are and then figure out who the winner was. So blue won this area. All right, for illustrative purposes, sorry yellow, you gotta go. All right, so this card says that whoever's in first gets the gold medal token that's worth 4 victory points, so that would go to blue. All right, whoever was in second gets the second place token, so that was me, that was white. Now, the boxes that are next to it. If you were in first place, you can now have up to 3 of your exhibits approved for that area. So if blue had 3 of these transportation exhibits, he could now, or she could now turn them in and get 3 of these approved exhibits. The second place player can then turn in 1. So I have 1 card. I was in second. I'm going to just turn this into a discard pile, and I'm going to pick up 1 approved exhibit. And we can move on to yellow. Blue also won that. And there was a tie for second. Well, this card tells you first place, of course. Blue player gets another 4. Second place, well, there is no second place because there's a tie for second, but a tie gets you nothing. All right. So now the blue player could have the yellow exhibits approved. We'll skip green. We'll move on to white. All right. In the white area, I have 4 supporters. So I get the starring token there. Yellow was in second. Yellow would get the second place token. And now I can approve up to 3 exhibits. So I have 2 white exhibits. So I will turn those in and I'll pick up 2 approved exhibits. Back on yellow, even though I didn't win, I still hold on to this card for the next round. I can't turn it in yet, but I still keep it in my inventory. All right, and then in red, there was a tie for first. So we look at the tie for first. Both players will get 2. So 2 for me, 2 for yellow. And then we can each approve up to 2 exhibits. I only have 1, so I will turn that in and get a red approved exhibit. The last step in the scoring phase is to recall supporters. So you will take half of your supporters back into your inventory. So white has 2, recall 1. Yellow only had 1, doesn't have to have it recalled. Blue had 3, you actually round down to 2 and recall 1. Blue recalls 1 there, blue recalls 1 there. White recalls 2 here. 1, 1, and 1. And now you're ready to start the next round. Okay, so now you'll move on to round 2. The cards stay out on the table as they were from the previous round. You don't add any more cards to it, but you keep playing until you get through all of the various rounds, the 3 rounds, and then we'll add up all of the victory points that everyone has, and whoever has the most is the winner. Okay, but before we get to that, let's talk about how to use these approved exhibits and how they score you points. Okay, so as you're playing, of course, you're trying to get these exhibits approved, and what you're trying to do is to get a set of approved exhibits. So the larger set that you have, the more points you get. So if you get a full set, like this example here, you get 15 points at the end of the game. If you have 3, you get 6 points, and 2, you get 3 points, and so forth. So that is how these sets can add valuable victory points to your score at the end of the game. You're gonna add up your sets, you're gonna add up your midway coins that you've gathered, plus any awards that you won for having the most supporters at various areas of interest. Whoever has the most is the winner. Okay, so this is a really great game. I love the theme of it, and I think that it really works well. The modular Ferris wheel game board is interesting. It has a small footprint, but plays very well. The artwork is really great, and the components are nice as well. You know, some of the things when you look at the game, these like these exhibit cards, really the only important thing about them is that they're red or green or yellow. But the fact that they took the time to put these individual facts about the World's Fair just enhances the enjoyment of the game. They're not germane to the game, but it's that extra step that they went for this game that really brings that theme all together even more. And there's really some good strategy in the game as far as where you're going to place those workers and paying attention to what other people are doing, and those bonus cards, that you have that you can play. Makes the game interesting without making it over complicated. The game really is simple to play, and it's a quick game as well. In fact, if I had one complaint about it, is that it seems like it's too fast. That Ferris wheel can get spinning pretty quick when those midway cards come out, and every time I've played it, I've always wished that maybe there was a few more cars on the Ferris wheel, or maybe there was a 4th round, because I really enjoy playing the game, but it seems to go by so quick. So, great game that they have put out here. The great theme, a lot of fun. I think you'll enjoy it. I give this game a 9 out of 10. Now, if you've enjoyed this review, please take a moment to hit the like button below and subscribe to our channel for more video reviews. Once again, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you for visiting the Arch Gaming Network. For more great content, check us out at archgamingnetwork.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.